Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is going to be part 3 into my journey of putting the 1952 set together. I've done a little bit of research on a few more of these players. So let me take a stack here and get ready to get into a little bit detail of some of these players. Can't do all of them. I'm trying to do maybe 15 minute long videos. Attention of some of the viewers can't take more than 10-15 minutes. So let's get into this. Starting off here with Johnny Bucha. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but Johnny Bucha or Buka. This man didn't play much in the majors. As you could tell, he has his minor league stats on the back. Try to look a little bit into his career, but there just isn't that much. So this is as common as a common gets. So let's put him here where he belongs, next to Jim Hegan. Next up, I have Eddie Robinson. Eddie Robinson hit his stride when he joined the White Sox, as pictured here. And he had a very nice year in 1951, as you could tell, with the 282 average, 29 home runs. This man finished third in home runs and RBIs in 1951 and 52 for the AL. He had a nice career, who attributed his strength to loading trucks at 5 a.m. as a youth before school would start in the morning at the age of 12. That was the life of a child, growing up in a state of depression, helping out his mom with the bills. So I believe this one goes here. I finally finished one page. This is my first page that I've been able to finish off. That's how this looks. So beautiful. Full complete page. Doesn't get much better. Let's move on. Next I have Dizzy Trout. He was a champ in 1943, 44, and 45 as he teamed up with Hal Newhouser to form the best 1-2 punch throughout that time. And in 1944, which would happen to be his best year, he had a 27-14 record and also led the league in complete games that year with 33, 7 by way of shutouts, and would be runner-up to the MVP. Gave himself the name of Dizzy as he idolized Dizzy Dean. So this one goes right here. And after that, I have Irv Noren. This man batted .295 with 18 home runs and 98 RBIs, finishing 15th for the MVP in his rookie year at the age of 25. It would be his best year. He never came close to matching those stats again. He essentially became a one-hit wonder. Next up, I have Ray Scarborough. He had a decent career. 48 was his best year, in which he had a record of 15-8 with a 282 ERA. Ray ended Ted Williams' most consecutive games reaching base safely streak of 84 games. And in 1952, he was traded to the Yankees to help them down the stretch, in which he went 5-1 to help the Yankees win a pennant and win a World Series in 1952. So another player from the hated Red Sox that ended up flourishing once he joined the Yankees. Go figure. Next up, I have Eddie Joost. He was a really good shortstop for the Philadelphia A's. He was respected as by pitchers for having a lot of pop in his bat. For it was a time where people like Pee Wee Reese and Phil Rizzuto ruled as shortstop, but they were more like slap hitters. They did a lot of drag bunting, and this man used to hit double-digit home runs. And as you could tell in the back, he had 19 home runs in 1951 with a 289 average, 78 RBIs, which was a lot of production from the shortstop position. This man was not only a great hitter, but he also dazzled by turning 200 double plays in 3 consecutive seasons, 217, which in 1949 happens to be a major league record. That's Eddie Joost. Next up, I have Willie Jones. This man right here, Willie Jones, happened to have a really nice career, but he has an interesting nickname. They called him Puddinhead Jones, which came from a song in 1933. And before Mike Schmidt, he was considered the best third baseman that the Phillies ever had. Pie Traynor was even asked who was better, and he would say he's better than I was. This man was really good. Puddinhead Jones. Next up, I have Marv Rickard. Marv Rickard would fill in for injured Jeff Heath in the last week of the regular season in 1948, as he helped the Boston Braves win a few games with his bat and fielding, and he helped them get to the World Series. Unfortunately, they would lose to the Cleveland Indians that year. And he also gave birth to the batting glove, as he would wear his golf glove in his right hand to see if it would help him with his, batting. And maybe he suffered from calluses, but much to the ridicule of all his teammates in the clubhouse, eventually Marv Rickard would get the last laugh, as the whole major leagues would eventually start wearing batting gloves afterwards. That's Marv Rickard. Next up, I have Ray Boone. Ray Boone was a converted catcher to a shortstop who relieved Lou Boudreau in 1948 and had a very nice season. In 1950, in which he batted .301, he would get traded to Detroit in 1953 and had a nice run with them, as he averaged .285 with 19 home runs and 87 RBIs with them throughout his time. That's Ray Boone. Next up, I have Mr. Eddie Lopat. Steady Eddie, the junk man. He shared that nickname Steady Eddie with Eddie Murray at the end, but he was the third member of the Big Three for the Yankees, along with Allie Reynolds and Vic Raschi. He had his best season, frozen in time with the stats on the back, as you could tell. He had a very nice year that year, 21-9 with an ERA of 2.91. He was a 5-time World Series champion and never had a good fastball, but was a master at changing speeds and keeping batters on the rocking chair. That's Eddie Lopat. Next up, I have Mr. Robin Roberts here with Hall of Famer. Very beautiful example here. Robin Roberts, from July of 1952 to July 1953, he completed 28 games in a row. He would actually be one of the best pitchers of his decade, as he won 20 or more games from 1950 to 1955. 1952 would actually be his most dominant season, and he had a record of 28-7. He was the runner-up to the MVP that year. That's messed up. Robin Roberts. Next up, I have Mr. Sid Hudson. He pitched for the losing Washington Senators, to which he chose to sign with over the Cleveland Indians because they both wanted to sign him. He chose the Washington Senators because he feared he would have to compete with Bob Feller and others for a chance to pitch, and he knew with the Washington Senators he'd definitely have a chance with them to break the squad. He never really had a lot of success because the team they didn't give him a lot of offense, but he also had his career paused as he served with the Air Force. His claim to fame was pitching on Babe Ruth Day against Bud Chandler. He pitched a complete game, 1-0 victory before a crowd of 58,000. That's Mr. Sid Hudson. I believe this one goes here. Yep. Next up, I have Mr. Chuck Stobbs. Both this man's parents were athletes, thus alluding to Chuck's gifted athleticism. He had two noted distinctions within baseball throughout his life. One of which was he gave up Mickey Mantle's 565-foot bomb, which gave birth to the term tape measure shots over at Griffith Stadium. It was later determined he actually was hit for a measurement of 510, which was still a crazy long shot. But his second distinction, which might take a little bit of while for me to tell you this story, but I'm going to tell it anyway. This man, he was part of a record that will never be broken. Now, give me a second to tell you this story. In 1947 in Virginia, he was in his high school championship game. He shut down the first 6 batters, 4 by way of strikeouts. But in the very next inning, he induced a grounder to second, but the first baseman juggled the throw and the batter was called safe. The coach, which happened to be Chuck's dad, came out to argue that the player had possession of the ball long enough for that out. The home plate umpire would eventually toss the dad out of the game and play resumed. The man on first attempts a steal of second. The catcher zings a throw, but the second baseman can't hold on to the throw, and the runner is called safe. Chuck would run out to argue with the second base umpire that the player had dropped the ball on a transfer. Eventually, the home plate umpire came out to see what's the fuss, and Chuck shouts at the home plate umpire, "I'm arguing with the second base ump. This is none of your business. Get back behind the home plate where you belong." And that gets Chuck tossed out the game. Now, that's his father, and now Chuck that gets tossed. Later on, play resumes after this man had to be restrained by the catcher after he got tossed. And at this point, there's bases loaded later on in the inning. The catcher thinks he can pick off the runner at first and snaps a throw to first. The runner on third breaks home and the throw comes home. But it gets away and the ball settles near the mascot. The mascot tosses the ball back into home plate as he tries to help out the team, and he gets tossed. And who does that? Who is that mascot? It happens to be Dick Stobbs, Chuck's younger brother. So in the same inning, the dad, the son, and the younger brother all get tossed out of the game in the same inning. That is a record that will never be broken. That's Chuck Stobbs. I love that story. It's not a major league story, but man, oh man, when you hear stories like that, it's so much fun. I think I got these pages reversed here. So that story took a little while. So I guess I'll make this my last card, being that I'm coming upon the 15-minute mark. And this is Al Zarilla. He was primarily a line drive hitter who shared the outfield with Gus Zernial, forming the first duo outfield with the letter Z in the last name. His best year came in 1948, in which he batted .329. He was also noted as the only rookie player in his debut game that had to buy a ticket to his first game. It was actually a promotional game called Baseball for Victory, in which everyone going to the game paid and the proceeds went to benefit the National War Fund. So it's a fun fact that he had to pay for his inaugural debut in baseball. That's Al Zarilla. So there you have it. That'll be the part 3 to this 1952 top set. I hope you enjoyed this series so far, and I hope you're looking forward to my next one coming up soon. I'll probably be doing other videos with my contest ending, and also I got a lot of packages coming in from very generous YouTubers that are sending me Christmas cards, so I'll be uploading some of those videos. But until then, I'm gonna wish you all happy hunting when it comes to cards. I want you all to stay safe and be blessed, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.